Let's go. Kimu SDC with you today, all day, every day. And I'm going to start it off with a PLH. Peace, love, and happiness with you all day, every day. Today, I want to talk about changing your perception. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I've come across so many people and I've conversed with so many people in reference to what they don't have, or this is crazy, this is ridiculous. It's a whole lot of negativity, and we gotta sometimes all the time we should be seeing our world for what it is and what it can be. And what I mean by that is change your perception. When you see certain things going on, like something's happening to you, like, I don't know, maybe you, and hopefully this doesn't happen to you, but maybe you get into a car accident and definitely you survive. We got to change how we look at that car accident, because a lot of times I've seen people struggle with it and they just react emotionally and they be like, man, da 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 da, and I mean, I understand, like, I understand it's your car, but we also got to understand that maybe just maybe, if we were the cause of the accident, maybe if we were paying a little more attention to driving and not doing other stuff. Maybe if we were focused more on driving, maybe if we were focused on what we're doing in the task at hand at the very moment, we could prevent things from happening. A lot of times we focus so much on the negative we see, and therefore we see negative. We see a negative environment in front of us. We see other people's environment. We see other people's environment as a negative, and then we incorporate that into our environment. And what I've learned and my journey is that changing your perception does so much. It's ridiculous, because it literally could be the smallest thing. I know a few months ago when I was going through a lot of things. I was going through some life changes. I was resisting those life changes, but I had to realize that when I made that decision, that crucial decision to not see my situation as a negative and be disgruntled about my situation because it's not where I want to be, or this isn't what I expected to happen. This wasn't the outcome I was thinking was going to happen. And I changed it and realized that I gotta see my world for what I want it to be, not for what it is, because you make your world. Every day when we interact with other people, we're interacting with different worlds. We don't live in one world. We live in one universe, and we live on one planet, but we live in one world also. And the universe is an incorporation of every being living in the universe, all their worlds coming together. So when I'm interacting with my friends and my family, that's just a bunch of worlds coming together, because their experience and your experience and my experience are always going to be different. There's so many factors that go into it, and just to name a few: upbringing. What kind of neighborhood did you come up in? Our zodiac signs. What zodiac sign are you? What year were you born? What month and day were you born? Like, all these factors we never even think about, that cause us to be a certain way, to behave a certain way, and just using those factors to your advantage. It is your world. I'm not saying that we have to forget the past or we can't look forward the future, but don't let those things hinder you in the way that you see your world, in the way that you maneuver through your world. Because if you're hindered, you're therefore limited in what you can do. If you have a broken leg, you can't walk. Therefore, your ability to walk is therefore hindered. You're not able to walk. If I and I'm using this reference because I play the game basketball. If my arm is broken, I can't shoot. I can't dribble. But when we make that stance in our life, and that is, I feel, and for me, that was the hardest obstacle, was taking a stand on my life and in my world and saying I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to change. I'm going to change what society has, the factors that society has instilled in my perception of my life. I'm going to change my views on what is going on, and not just see things in a different light, but do things in a different way. Today, yesterday, and tomorrow, and the days after, since I've changed my perception on life, I've been able to give that positive energy. I've began to see things in a more positive light. I began to see obstacles and mistakes as lessons learned and opportunities for other things to come, for greater things to come. When you focus on being great, you become great. I want to repeat that again, just in case you didn't hear me correctly. When you focus on being great, you become great. Because then you therefore are, and then you become more. It's just like putting positive energy out. I put out positive energy every day. Every time I interact with somebody, I never give any type of negative energy. Because I'm going to get that negative energy back. Anything that you put out in the universe, you're going to get back. Full-fledged. Whether it be in bits and pieces or it be in lump sum. And changing my perspective on how I see my world and how I see my world has helped me understand how people see their world. I did not go through the situations that they've been through. I did not grow up in the environment that they did. But by being able to understand and see where their perception could be coming from, I'm able to give off that positive energy. It doesn't matter where you come from. Well, it does matter where you come from because you don't want to forget where you came from. But what also is more important is where you're going. And more important, where you're at, because you can't get to where you're going unless you find out where you're at. I've heard that plenty of times in the past, and I never understood what that meant. I understood, don't forget where you come from. Oh yeah, I came from this street, this block, this house number, this side of town. But we never focus on where we are now. And I know that in the process of changing my perception, it definitely helped me develop a new side of consciousness, dive into a deeper level of consciousness. Things have depth. As human beings, we have depth. and therefore your world has depth. Try to reach those deeper aspects, those deeper depths. Dive deeper into your life. In order for you to do that, you got to dive deeper into yourself. Diving deeper into yourself is probably it's probably the hardest part, and I can only speak for myself, because diving deeper requires self-reflection and then therefore self-revelation. And it's so hard for us to look at ourselves, to look into our souls, our spirit every day and see the truth about ourselves, and therefore change whatever the negatives are into positives, because we're so used to those negatives being there. Those negatives have become our comfort zone, and the positives are not. The positives feel good, but they don't last long. But then when you're able to change those negatives into positives, allow those seeds that are buried deep beneath cement, uneasy foundation, when you allow those to rise through those hard times, through that concrete, you then create a flower. And then therefore that flower creates another flower. And then all of a sudden, you got to feel the flowers, and then you just smelling them all. You can't find out which one you really like. Whew. But once you create those flowers, once you have taken that negative energy and transferred it to a positive energy, and then not only transfer it to a positive energy within yourself, but to the outside, to your external, to everybody else. I know for me, when I finally was able to do that, I was finally able to look at myself in the eyes, in the mirror, because I was so focused on what most people are focused on, the external, this body right here, this vessel, this vehicle that we carry every day, that our spirit carries every day. And I will definitely say, when I finally was able to be so appreciative of myself, love myself, change the way that I saw things, it was like, wow, like, let me look at myself in the eyes real quick. And I'm looking at myself in the eyes, and I'm content with the person that I am. And most of the times we're so discontent with the person that we are because we have such negative energy built up inside of us that the positive gets overshadowed. We should never let the darkness overshadow the light. Shadow is a shadow for a reason. Think about when you're out on a beautiful sunny day, you overshadow the shadow. Because the light is shining on you, therefore you are the light. The shadow is just another side. Those are the negatives. The shadow is what we want to build up. So always remember to change your perception on life. Change the way that you deal with certain situations. Change the way that you look at yourself. That was the deepest part for me, was looking at myself. So many times we're upset with ourselves that we share those insecurities with other people in a negative way, rather than uplifting those insecurities within ourselves to uplift others who are dealing with similar insecurities, who are dealing with a negative self and not displaying the positive self. So I want to leave those thoughts with you today on changing your perception, but changing your world. to be a more positive world and take those negatives, that the negatives within your eye and within your camera lens. I'm rolling them and shining a light on those so that they become positives. So that way you can create this valley of roses and dandelions and tulips and daffodils and whatever types of flowers you want to plant in front of you. You could change that and you can sit there and bask in that all day. Of course, you may not have a sunny day every day, but that's just how life is. We got to change those cloudy days we got to change those cloudy days to sunny days. Realize that on those cloudy days, we still shine like the light that we are. I'm going to repeat that again. On those cloudy days, we still shine like the light that we are. So allow that light, that light within yourself to shine. Show that to other people. Show that to yourself. And then when you allow that light to shine onto yourself and onto other people, well, then you just having good days every day, all day. Woo! Kimu, SDC, PLH, peace, love, and happiness with you all day, every day. Peace.